All right, big transfer. Get another transfer offensive line and joining Bless Harris, coming out of the portal to Florida State. This time by way of Wisconsin. Uh, Offensive center Kayden Lyles. He was a starting center for Wisconsin. Kind of lost his job when he had fought some injuries. We've got some game footage of him against Northwestern. So he's yep, and they're a big boy in the middle, big thick center. A little bit different from what you see from Murray Smith. Obviously these Wisconsin linemen they know how to play football. Uh, good 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 technique getting up to the linebacker there, kind of getting to where he's going to be, not where he is. Does a good job.
Yeah, I think that you'll never turn down a starting Wisconsin offensive
Heck
lineman.
no.
So it is interesting because we've seen in their other recent commits that Florida State likes to kind of get the big guys that can move pretty well, but this guy seems to be more of a
He's a plotter, isn't he?
right. He's a big boy,
He
and I guess
is.
that's because you're just not going to ask him to pull very much. So it's nice to have a little push up the middle of the field.
Yep. As many three-man fronts as you're starting to see these days, it makes some sense to try to get a little beefier at center, can hold up a little bit better.
Right. The three man front meaning that he's almost always going to have a big guy right across
Yeah.
from him.
Yep. Some sort of shade or a guy head up on him.
Yeah, you'd be shocked at how many teams Florida State
Good
played this past
punch.
year. Uh,
Boom.
what do you mean by
Right in.
good punch?
So he's just up out of, he gets the ball snapped. He's up out of his stance and just good. Yeah, that right there. Just good shock right in that defensive lineman.
Get
Gets him,
his
gets
hands
him,
right on the inside of this.
yep, gets him stood up there. Kind of wins that battle initially with a good heavy hand. Now again, they're playing Northwestern. You're not playing the elite of the elite defensive lines here, but I think this is an upgrade at center for you.
Yeah, I mean, I probably guarantee you that
Play a little
Florida State's
higher.
offensive line isn't holding up to this defensive line over these past couple of years. So
Probably not.
just seems really solid. Got upfield. He kind of
Yep,
missed
gets
that block here.
he gets so he gets himself out of again. He got into a bad location there, and this kid kind of out athletes him in space. Would have liked him to maybe be like a foot to the left.
It's interesting because he's primarily an under center kind of guy at
Yeah,
Wisconsin. So one interesting thing to watch for is how those snaps come along from the shotgun. I assume because he played high school football, he was probably giving his fair amount of
yeah.
shotgun snaps at some point in his life. But it,
Good
it
block
is an
back on a
interesting
one
thing to
tech.
look at. What is it?
Yeah, a good block, just a good block, solid block back on a one tech. This is about the easiest block in football.
Yeah, we needed Trey here for a little bit of center talk.
Yeah, that's true. Played a little center in my day. Just good gap scheme, running a little counter action there. Well, it's not counter really, but
Yeah, I mean, you got to be excited. This is the kind
power.
of kid that lets Maurice Smith potentially move to
Hmm.
guard,
Yep. Be a little more athletic at guard.
and it allows you to just get creative. Oh, here's a shotgun snap. Yeah, it looked good. So pretty simple stuff there, but
Yep.
just building depth, building just a really solid foundation for your offensive line. So,
Yeah, I agree.
how long does Florida State have this kid?
I'm not sure what his eligibility is going to be. I think maybe he has 1 year left or two. I think it's actually two. Um, yeah, look, I mean, here's a young man who's going to come in with obviously game experience, coming out of a big time system up in Wisconsin. So, he's going to be ready for the challenge. He's going to do what he needs to do be ready to step on the field. I think they needed to get a little more athletic at guard. So moving a Maurice Smith to guard helps you as much pulling as they like to do. Um, Add some flexibility to your schemes. And this is a guy who's likely going to be able to handle all your calls, get you kind of checked into where there's a little skip pull.
Yeah, here he is pulling.
He's not the most fleet of foot, that's for sure.
Yeah, but all everybody else they're bringing in around him
Hmm.
seems to be. So I think they're
Yeah.
trying to
Yep.
make sure that whenever they run zone, they've got a body mover, and
Yeah.
whenever they're doing a gap scheme with pullers, he'll be fine just blocking down. They probably won't get him to pull like this, a little pin and pull.
Right.
But yeah, I think you're not worried about that. You'll take someone that really anchors that offensive line, and
Yeah, we saw a lot at the end of the year. Smith just getting driven in the backfield. This is not a young man who's getting moved backwards a whole lot.
yeah, and honestly, as defensive lines get smaller and smaller, one gap, and try to get upfield quick, it's nice to have someone like this who can just absorb those smaller defensive linemen. So,
Mm-hmm.
do you have any concluding thoughts here?
Yeah, concluding thoughts. I mean, this is you're upgrading your offensive line. I mean, and that's what the goal of the offseason was. You're upgrading, size wise, you're upgrading experience wise. This is a solid get. I mean, I wouldn't classify him as necessarily a people mover, but he's a space eater. He kind of gets in everybody's way. I bet he's a pain in the ass to play against too. But he's
Yeah,
just one of those. I bet he's just one of those dudes that just gets on your last nerve.
yeah, I wouldn't call him a people mover, right? You don't see him like here. You don't see him necessarily driving these big boys
Yep.
back, but what he does is he just absorbs them. He's
Well,
like an
he does a great job. He keeps his knees bent, good flexion up through his ankles. We talked about it with Marvin Jones Jr. On another video, how athletic he looked running in the open field. But you see him, he looks like an athlete in his phone booth there at the center position on that back block. Nice bent knees, good position, flat back, at a nice little angle, keeps his elbows in tight, shoots from his side, doesn't waste a lot of movement. That's really important offensive line play. You don't waste a lot of movement. He doesn't waste a lot of movement. His steps have purpose.
yeah. Yeah, definitely notice that. And he, even with his small steps, he doesn't get beat around the side very often.
Yep. This will be a good shot. Let's look at this and then we can get out of here. Good pass off. Good trade. He overtakes.
Yeah, see, they're
Work a little
trying
off
to
guard.
they're trying to do like a little stunt with him uh, engaging early, but he gets traded off to the center.
Yep.
Good job here.
Yeah, that's great. Let's see that.
Yeah, so this is the kind of kid that just really ups potential win expectancies for the upcoming year. Kind of kid that you really like to see bring in the program through the transfer portal, a kid that's ready to play day one and just improves your offensive line inside and out. So make sure to join us as any more transfers or commits join, and we will see you then.